Please help.
Help!
Please help.
Help!
I have once again gone through with a whole little spiel, and it's like, no, you, okay. Trying to start again. Also, thank you for the bands up too. That explains why, even though I did a whole speech on you must watch me to get one free ad on my channel, it's still, they're still like, nope, we're going to immediately advertise again. Okay, so, tonight is an unplanned, unscheduled, unrehearsed stream. It probably won't be games, though it might be games. I'm testing a couple things, one of which was just that simple little, you could see the ad playing here. I'll pop over again so you can see it. For Mirrorlands, who are another affiliate. They're running till December. And so they're a little mobile type game, and that is me actually playing it. So that's me testing that. It's me testing a couple other things, a lot of stuff on the back end that's like, I have it done. I actually have some time and energy tonight. I'm going to test it now. And then if it, and then I can do some refinements for tomorrow, which I already know I'm going to do some refinements for tomorrow. So I have already gotten success out of tonight. It's an extra stream, which anytime I can sneak in an extra stream is good. And I currently only have 2 things planned to do tonight. Maybe we'll throw in more. Neither of them are gaming, but we can still throw in a game if we want. One, I'm reacting to Brandon Herrera's Sig video, which I meant to react to last week and got distracted and forgot about it. And 2, I'm not going to react to the entirety of Ray's video, but I saw that Ray did the Omegaverse quiz, and I actually mentioned this, I think, on Monday. I initially dismissed it as, this is funny, but the more I thought about it, the more it gave me vibes of Markiplier doing his Pokemon Smash or Pass video, and it was like, you know what, if I'm gonna bandwagon, I'm gonna bandwagon. We're gonna do this. Plus, on this week, I've just been bombarded with the stuff, which maybe because of his video. Maybe his video is a result of that, and I just saw his video first. It was like, I feel like the universe is telling me something. Fine, we're doing the fan fiction quiz. If you don't know what Omegaverse is, there's a reason we're doing this second. And this video is first. But that is my plan for tonight. These two things, it gives me a video plus two, it gives me a stream plus 2 videos for later. It lets me test stuff. That's why we're here for tonight. Fingers crossed, I won't go for 4 hours. We know how my luck is with that, though. So, to start us off, again, Mirrorland's links are there for you to help support the channel. Mech Warrior, Casketer. Again, the reason I've left codes in and Girls Kitchen Diner, depending on where you're looking, up. But I haven't run the ad stuff because there's been some questions about their connections. But Mech Warriors clans and Mirrorlands have stepped up, so there we are. And, you know, they did offer support, so I'm not going to just say no until I actually have answers. Get rid of that. But yeah, just as a heads up on what's going on. Gasketer's been great, though. And thank you to those of you that have supported me through those. It really means a lot. So with that ramble and little bit of ad out of the way, I guess we just dive into our first video. Brandon Herrera, Sig fires back on purpose. As a quick, brief overview, which may end up repetitive because it's Brandon and he's good about this. Sig Sauer's P320s are a gun that has been verifiably been proven via multiple independent tests to go off on their own. People have been hurt by this. People have been killed by this. Sig has refused to acknowledge it. This comes out at about the time in which an Air Force member was sadly killed as a result of this problem. I actually don't know that there are any updates since this that I'm aware of, but it's not a good situation, and Sig really is going to end up paying about it. Or paying for it. So, with that said, off we go, if that'll work. To reacting to, please stop. This is what I mentioned with this testing some new things. Please stop that. Try to get this working. And hello, Blaze. Welcome. Again, as a heads up to the people watching on Beam, on your screen. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about this. I wish I could. On your screen, in chat, upside down triangles / beakers. On your chat, upper left hand corner. Turn off multi-chat, and it will stop the chat spam. And you'll be able to read chat normally. I wish I could set that to be off by default on my channel. I can only set it to be off on my end. Unfortunately, viewers need to set it to be off by default on their end. I'm really, really sorry for all of you that have to deal with that. Okay.
Gun Meme Review. What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers? Hope you've had a good week. I know mine's been, eventful. Hi, Tony. But I'm happy to be back doing a good old-fashioned gun meme review, and man...
He's talking about Tony Gonzalez. He's running against him. Gonzalez is the worst parts of both political parties. Please support Brandon.
Since the last time we did one of these things, did some interesting things come to light. Specifically on something that has been a recurring bit with Gun Meme Review, which would be Sig.
Alright!
Specifically, the recurring theme that has kind of existed for the last couple of years of the P320 going off without the trigger being pulled. Whether it be after dropping the gun, or other times just I don't know, fucking carrying it, I guess. The Sig P320 has kind of developed a reputation for not exactly being the safest handgun. You know, the classic phrase, guns don't kill people, people kill people. I think that's largely true. However, these recent developments have made the gun industry wonder if P320s also just kill people.
Yep.
Which is a sentiment that was echoed by several government agencies, including ICE, which is why they got their contract dropped. I swear I don't do that on purpose. As well as
whatever
the
you
industry
say.
at large, causing the P320 to be suspended for use from, competitions, training courses, and even sales in some gun stores. This particularly ramped up after a previous issue that we've addressed on Gun Meme Review before, where an airman was killed because of a P320 going off. The story was he had the P320 holstered, put his duty belt on a table, and the action of putting the holstered pistol down on the table was enough to make the gun discharge, which unfortunately did lead to the death of the airman. And a lot of people in that last video said, oh, well, it was his fault because he broke one of the rules of gun safety that, even though he had it holstered and he put it down on the table, he still had it pointed at himself, never point a weapon at anything you're not willing to destroy. It was clearly still his fault, which I have a fundamental problem with that. Yes, ideally, if you can avoid pointing a loaded weapon at yourself, that is objectively a good thing. But usually there's kind of exceptions made for when the gun is holstered and the trigger guard is completely blocked and obscured. I mean, otherwise, pretty much any sort of inside the waistband carry is against the rules of gun safety. So, let's be reasonable on that one. But anyhow, when it comes to these accusations, SIG has fired back. And this time it was on purpose. No, jokes aside, there is actually a new development in the case. Airmen arrested in fatal shooting that led Global Strike Command to pause using 6 Hours M18s, meaning that another party has been arrested.
I don't think I saw that
involving
one.
The case. So it says here in the article, the unidentified airman was arrested on suspicion of making a false official statement, obstruction of justice, and involuntary manslaughter. The statement did not say when the airman was arrested or detail his or her suspected role in the death of Braden Loven. And that's about all the detail we have. Does this mean this was actually a homicide that was disguised as a malfunctioning handgun? Honestly, I don't know, maybe. We're really not going to find out the truth on this until the details of the investigation are released. So with this new missing detail, it's entirely possible that this case may not be SIG's fault. However, the SIG fan club is immediately parading this around as evidence that the P320s have never had any issue of any kind. Which, look, if that ends up being the case, and this is not SIG's fault by any means, and this is just a bizarre murder mystery that ended up taking place with the P320, I'll be the first one to come out and retract about half of the memes from that episode, because the other half were just really funny. At the end of the day, it's not my intent to go after SIG or slander
That's
SIG.
an ad.
While it may be kind of funny, I have no genuine beef with SIG, I'm not out to tank their sales or whatever. The one thing I don't appreciate is all the gaslighting, which we will still get into.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
So if the investigation's concluded and it turns out SIG is not at fault for this one particular incident, I will be happy to say so. And even happier that that implies the person actually responsible will be brought to justice. What I don't want to happen is SIG to be able to use this as a chance to dig in their heels and go, see, because this one very specific instance wasn't our fault, that means there were no problems ever with our product and everybody was a conspiracy theorist. Because I can already feel that is what is going to happen. Even though it is incredibly well documented, there are multiple cases of this exact thing happening, and it's even been brought to my attention that potentially they had internal documents that had leaked that implied that they knew that this was a problem, dating all the way back potentially to 2017. SIG's own documents. And before we get all the SIG cope, I've had a P320 for 6 years and shot 400 bazillion rounds through it and never had a problem. A lot of the problems that would potentially, and it's hard to give an actual decent engineering breakdown on this because I don't have all of the data sets that SIG has, but what seems to be evident to me is that you might have a problem with tolerance stacking. Tolerance stacking is when you have different parts, especially if you have different manufacturers, like a lot of their parts are MIMmed, metal injection molding, complicated mechanism, multiple parts that have tolerances within, let's say a few thousandths of an inch to be able to work together, and those tolerances stack in ways that work against each other. So let's say 9,000 SIGs out of 10,000 are perfectly safe, 900 are on the line, and 100 of them are going to have fucking problems. The fact that your P320 seems to be perfectly safe and has never had an issue does not mean that there aren't thousands of them out there that will. So yes, you might have a P320 that's perfectly fine. I still wouldn't point it at my balls or the wildlife in the lake. POV, you lost your P320 in a boating accident. I only date.
For those who don't know, with California's gun confiscation, it has become a meme of firearms being lost in a boating accident, because during California's gun confiscation, it was a very common thing that happened, and we'll say no more on it. For what he's talking about with pointing it at important areas, appendix carry, which is putting it right over your appendix in the belt of the pants, tends to do that. And also, for a lot of people that I've seen defending the SIG 320 carry, a lot of them have been caught being of the camp where they don't carry with a round loaded in the chamber. Now, there's nothing wrong with, well, there's a whole argument, but I think there's nothing wrong with not carrying around in the chamber. I personally would rather have that round, and am completely confident in my Springfield Hellcat to not go off unless I want it to. So I'm fine with that. But if you are carrying a SIG P320 and not carrying it with a round in the chamber, that's kind of telling what you actually think about the gun. And actually, Ian McCollum, Gun Jesus of Forgotten Weapons, has offered quite the solution by stealing a Russian gun holster that is for a gun with similar problems, where the idea is you don't carry with it loaded, and you push forward in order to remove the gun from the holster, and it racks the slide and loads a new round. Just throwing that in there as a, if you must carry it, try that. It is much less likely to get you killed.
Bold man. I appendix carry a SIG P320. I will admit that's a pretty ballsy move. Well, until it suddenly isn't. Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with mesothelioma? If that's the case, sorry, but I really can't help you. I have no clue.
That hurt
Everybody
me.
probably has been a target of internet data brokers. These are the people that collect your personal
Oh
information.
my gosh, I
name,
remember
phone
when
number,
those commercials
address,
were
and they sell it
everywhere.
Online to God knows who for God knows what. This can make you a target of being spammed, scammed, or even doxxed and harassed online for something as simple as your political views. That is where Delete Me comes in. Delete Me combs through places like this to find your personal information and then submit opt-out requests on your behalf. For me, in the month of July alone, they reviewed over 6,300 listings for all sorts of personal information, including spouse.
I
which
feel
I'll
so
save you the money.
old.
I don't have one. But the point being, Delete Me is out there to find your personal information for sale on the internet and make sure that goes away. And if that sounds as interesting to you as it probably should, you can go to joindeleteme.com/Herrera. There you will get 20% off all consumer plans. Thank you to Delete Me for sponsoring this video. And again, if you want to get your personal information off the internet, go down to the links down in the description, check out Delete Me using my code, and get 20% off. And for those of you who want to get your start in gunsmithing and weapons technology and don't really know where to go, consider checking out sdi.edu using the links down in the description and in the pinned comment. We appreciate their support. Back to the video. My SIG P320. My femoral
That's
artery.
another common place
And look, I
for
don't
it
want
to
to keep
point.
rehashing all the injuries that we have clearly seen over the years with the P320 as far as being carried by law enforcement agencies, by federal agencies, and all of the problems that we've seen associated with this one particular handgun. But it is important to me, to my integrity, that you know that this is coming from a place of I have looked at empirical evidence and have deduced, as well as several other government entities that have been heavily invested in this project, as well as my own fucking eyes, that there's legitimately a problem here. Is every case involving a SIG's fault? I'm sure there's a few that aren't. But when you look at the data sets, you know.
I don't think he's repeated
Why
anything
is
yet.
it when something happens, it is always you three?
The M17 and the M18 are variations of the 320, for the record. For anyone confused.
6 Hour, never settle. In court. I also did find it kind of funny. I was apparently cited, or one of my videos was cited, in a court case involving SIG. See, Brandon Herrera, SIG is gaslighting you, with the YouTube link, describing SIG's statement as, quote, Olympic-level corporate gaslighting.
Wow.
Dibs on the indie band album title. Sig Sauer versus Taurus. SIG, one of your pistols has a flaw. You actively deny your flaw and call it anti-gun propaganda. Documented evidence pops
Oh
up.
no, is this gonna make
Memes
Taurus
loop
look
about you
good?
calling you out on your BS. Taurus. One of your pistols has a flaw. You admit the flaw and actually issue a recall. You take incentive to improve your QC. You even expanded the
no.
protection market. Look, that may be a little bit oversimplified, but when people can do the Virgin versus Chad meme between you and Taurus, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Tesla. Our cars drive themselves. Sig Sauer. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
I was even on Steven Crowder's show the other day talking specifically
I did see
about
this one.
this issue.
How do you think Sig? I know you're speculating.
I saw the whole thing.
scored
It's great.
Such a big.
I don't like Crowder,
contract
but this
with,
was
at that
great.
point, a relatively new pistol.
That's an excellent question. Look, I want to reiterate again.
Actually, I think that's the only time I ever actually have watched Crowder in like a full segment. But yeah, just for Brandon Herrera's comments, I'm gonna recommend watching that because it's pretty. They really tear into Sig.
Excellent question. Look, I want to reiterate again. I have literally zero reason to want Sig to fail. Because realistically, a guy like me has a financial incentive to not go after one of the biggest manufacturers in the industry. The two reasons I'm still harping on this are these. One, I don't make the memes. Look, I don't grow the crops. I just pick them. If it's funny, it's funny. Two, integrity. The same reason I'm fully willing to admit, if the details of that case come out and this was not Sig's fault, that it was not Sig's fault, is the reason I feel the need to call Sig out for saying that any implication that the P320 has problems is anti-gun grifter propaganda. It's fucking not, and it's a blatant lie. Like, I've said this before. I've talked to people at Sig who they've admitted that they know about the issue. They've known about the issue. I don't know how much I could say, but they've had meetings where they're trying to talk about how to solve the issue. That doesn't exist. We have court documents that don't exist. They had a voluntary upgrade program that fixed a problem that doesn't exist. It's mental gymnastics, and I don't have a fucking stomach for it. The P320 cannot, under any circumstances, discharge without a trigger pull. That is a fact. In all cases, these individuals have an ulterior motive behind their baseless allegations that the P320 can fire without a trigger pull. They have no evidence, no data, and no empirical testing to support any of their claims. I mean, that's just the truth of it. I don't want the 320 to be bad. I actually don't think it is bad, by and large. I think that there's clearly either a QC issue or design flaw, something. There is a gremlin in the airplane, something that is making the 320 do what it's doing, that if everyone goes along with this and pretends like there is no problem, then Sig will never make it better. So to put a nice little button on it, that's where things are at right now with the Sig debacle, and I hope this is the last time we have to talk about it for quite some time. This is normally in Gun Meme Review where I would kind of break things up with a Marty Robbins meme, but we haven't been getting those a lot recently. Bring back Marty Robbins meme. I have some fun Marty Robbins.
Brandon, we haven't gotten them because you never sang the full song. The boomer with a big iron on his hip version, you said you would. You got millions of views. You gotta do the full end-to-end song, not just the one or two verses that they did. The full thing of Boomer with a big iron on his hip. You promised. Also, his singing voice is actually really, really good. It surprised me. He could do the country voice really good.
Stuff coming up. We might have the big iron and the biggest iron. Sounds a bit phallic. That's not what I meant. But for real, Marty Robbins memes. Let's bring them back. I know most of them are going to be shit, but it's worth it. There's still some diamonds in the rough. But in other gun memes, Brandon, I finally got an MP. I think they mean MP7. Donut, we finally got an MP7. We have an MP7. My wife walked in, saw me watching this, and asked why I can't just watch porn like normal men. Speaking of which, we might have a collaboration on this coming soon. Now, whether you take that to mean Ian from Forgotten Weapons, or the PSG-1, or maybe both, well, that's on you, but...
Allow me to spoil. I watch Unsubscribed Podcast, and they were talking about this, about how they got a PSG-1, which they were geeking out about, which, of course, they were. But, separately, not in the same sentence, or even necessarily the same exact part of the conversation, but separately, Brandon mentioned he has put together a functioning, legal FAMAS, which is a French bullpup battle rifle. Ian is obsessed with FAMASes. And literally the next sentence after Brandon says that he has put together the FAMAS and is preparing to do a video on it, so I forget who, I think it was Eli, says, "Oh, by the way, Ian's coming on the podcast." Which, I mean, the FAMAS is how you summon Ian. That's absolutely how they summoned Ian. So, I would not be surprised if they've got Ian for 2 videos. 1, PSG1, and 2, the FAMAS. Honestly, if Ian isn't part of the FAMAS video, I will be super duper disappointed, because that is the thing that we all want to watch him geek out about and have fun with Brandon on. Because Ian has been obsessing about FAMASes for years and years and years. So, spoilers, 2 videos that are very likely to involve Ian, as well as confirmation that this does involve Ian. Ramble. Watch the Unsubscribed podcast. These people don't pay me, but it's awesome.
That's enough of a teaser, I guess. Place your bets in the comments. Buy a guy and train with him.
Oh no!
Pretty sure the 13th Amendment has entered the chat. The buy a guy and train with it memes have been cracking me up on Twitter. That Cracker Barrel rebrand thing has just been driving me fucking crazy. It's all over my feed and like every social media platform. Modern marketing people just always, they have to fuck with something that's not broken. Speaking of
I
old
miss the
Cracker
old Pizza
Barrel
Huts.
versus new Cracker Barrel, in this case, I think replacing something might be an upgrade. Yeah, for those who haven't heard, I've jumped back into the ring and am once again running for Congress in Texas District 23. For last time in the primary, I ran against an anti-gun Republican, coming within about 400 votes in one of the biggest districts in the country. You can support our efforts at BrandonHerreraForCongress.com, but you're not here for politics, you're here for the memes. And my God, is the meme campaign against Tony been glorious. Because my philosophy is, the shit posting will continue until government improves.
I approve of this
Brandon
message.
calling Tony out. Honestly, it's like every post. I mean, personally, I think the best attacks are on policy, which is why it's the only place I've ever officially attacked him. I think his policies are bad, and that's what the voters should care about. My friends, however...
Oh, yes! Again.
Well, they've chosen a different tactic. But the fact that he...
Again, watch the Unsubscribed podcast. Nick, Fat Electrician, has hinted that there is a binder on the way. Reminder that the first binder is destroying the Buffalo school system for protecting predators. I can't wait for the Tony Gonzalez binder.
he's afraid to debate me on policy is why Tony's never shown up to a
Oh,
debate.
absolutely.
Ever. This was a picture of me last cycle at the Bexar County Republican Party primary debate. Bexar County, of course, being San Antonio, the biggest county in the district, population-wise. To my left, an empty chair for when Tony was not there. That got a little political. But if you guys want to join into the fun, you can go ahead and follow me over on Twitter or X, whatever we're calling it these days, at the AK Guy. Jump into the fray. It's a lot of fun. Be sure to keep posting these gun memes over on the Reddits. One of them is Brandon Herrera, I think. It's purposely misspelled because I think they deleted mine after Jan 6th. I wasn't even fucking there. Reddit moment. There's that, r/gun memes. There's a couple really good ones. The links are in the description and in the pinned comment if you want to check out either the campaign website or the bunker branding list where you can get the Brandon Herrera for Congress 26 t-shirts. I can't promise it'll get you laid, but I can promise it'll get you kicked out of a Tony Gonzalez for Congress rally. Oh wait, he doesn't have those.
No, he
That's
doesn't.
crazy.
It's
Anyhow, I'm
weird.
done
He
with my
didn't
shit flinging.
debate. He didn't do any rallies. He
Lots more
didn't do
gun content
anything.
coming soon, including some really rare stuff that I'm very excited about. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Don't drop a P320, and I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon. Like Rasputin's rise to the top.
New details actually have come to life. Come to light. New details has fuck.
I'm sorry. Does that say a 19? Am I going to have to buy a Taurus? I don't want to buy a Taurus. I don't want to buy a Taurus. Oh no. Anyways. Also I feel I got distracted by everything else going on in the video. I did want to say I want the SIGs to work well too, because since the gun part, the way the gun part works, working in the frame, it is very friendly to 3D printers, to 3D printed designs. And completely legal, because that's the serialized firearm part, for those of you that have issues with that. Unfortunately, but it's like, it's such a safety issue that it's like, it's such a good idea that I don't want to go anywhere near. Because theoretically, you know, you buy that, and then you pull out the gun part, and you put it in the whatever 3D printed chassis you want. It's still serialized, still has all its paperwork. Theoretically, it should work all in one, but because it's the 320 platform, it's just such a hazard. I want it to work too! But until SIG fixes things, that is where it stands. Okay. With that said, unless something comes up that we're doing more tonight, we're moving on to the second half of tonight's stream, which is following and nice nice freeze frame, Ray Narvaez Jr.'s footsteps for taking the accurate Omegaverse quiz. I expect you all to take it along with me. I want to see what you guys got. For those of you who don't know what the Omegaverse is, you should probably leave now. For those of you who haven't left and are curious, I only know sort of what this is. It's basically an alternate universe for writing fan fiction in, where everyone is split into alphas and omegas, based on the now disproven alpha wolves and omega wolves type. Dominant and submissive personalities. Given this is Tumblr fanfiction, you could probably guess what this is going. That is the most of what I know about it. So, have you ever read an Omegaverse fanfiction and thought, hey, what if that was real? Well, thank God it isn't. Yeah, what else I've seen also falls into the thank God it isn't. But we can give you a little window into that world. Come take this accurate quiz to get your real-life diagnosis on your second gender. Once you take it, you can never go back. Oh yeah, ain't that the truth? Yeah, also from what little I know, the thank God it isn't is real, because my understanding is that the Omegas do not get treated well at all in these fanfictions. So, what's your ideal partner? Easily flustered, social, cuddly, motherly, obedient, independent, tender, protective, submissive, assertive, and funny. Cuddly is the only non-negotiable one for me. However, easily flustered is a very close second. Go watch any number of VTubers get called a good girl or good boy, and you have my explanation. Everything else is negotiable as far as I'm concerned. Where would you go on a first date? Picnic, movie, dinner, nighttime hike, bowling, clubbing, aquarium, zoo, their house, my house. Honestly, probably movie and a dinner. Call it old-fashioned or whatever. You are doing a Kahoot with a group and your partner. Do you let them win? The heck is a Kahoot? The heck is a Kahoot? Game-based learning platform that makes it easy to create, share, play learning games or trivia quizzes in minutes. Oh, I'm gonna assume that's like Knowledge Master type stuff. I'm sure I just aged myself. Idiot, they'd win anyway. No. Thursday. Do you let them win? 98th percentile. Ask someone out on the date. Do you pay? No, of course. They're not allowed to pay. Absolutely. I'm too nervous to ask someone out. No, we can split. I am of the opinion that whoever does the asking does the paying. That goes both ways. So, I asked, I pay. This was my idea. I better step up for it. How do you spend your free time? Reading fan fiction, writing, drawing, anything artistic, hands-on activities, being active, cooking, listening to music, spending time with my friends. Listening to music. Not necessarily woodworking and metalworking, but yes, hands-on activities. I am not artistic, though I like artistic things. I guess Discord also counts if we're going to say spending time with friends. Discord's up all the time. Music is the strong one, though. When you play open world games, what do you enjoy doing? Flower picking, mining, pet collecting, take other people's stuff for funsies, exploring, PvP, building, resource hoarding, and farming. I build, resource, farm, explore, mine. Resource hoarding is probably the most accurate one for me, because I always need more resources to complete my other projects. Best question ever. What is your favorite color? Natural colors, any cool color, jewel tones, pastels. I do like jewel tones. Black, maybe with an accent color. Yeah, definitely. Neons and warm colors. Black with accent. Find out your friends have a group chat. Excluding, what do you do? Immediate violence. What friends? They aren't mine. Ignore it. People can do whatever they want. Talk with another friend group. I'm a little gossip. Cry, then cut them off. Talk it over with them. Ignore it. People can do whatever they want. What website do you spend most of your time on? What's AO3? Oh, archive of our own. I should have known that. YouTube, Spotify, Discord, Reddit, Twitter or Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, Snapchat, movies, streaming, Pinterest. YouTube almost would have it for me, but I definitely have Discord open more. Pick your ideal superpower: mind control, invisibility, shapeshifter, healing, super strength, pyrokinesis, talk to animals, immortality, time manipulation. Shapeshifter. No questions asked. Do you platonically flirt with your friends? Yes, no, I want to. It's not platonic anymore. Been suffering for so long. I know a couple people that are like that last one, but no, I don't. How do you handle stress? Violence, journal, cry my feelings out, abuse others about it, vent to others, ignore it. It'll go away eventually. I just ignore it. It won't matter. Anyone who has watched my streams before knows I vent. If I have an issue with something, I will immediately complain about it. What's your role in a group project? I like to be in charge. I do whatever needs to be done. I do the bare minimum. Make sure everyone else does their shit. Group. Nobody wants to group with me. I do whatever needs to be done. That doesn't mean I won't try to kick people into also doing parts, but dogs, cats, both. You need to go out late at night to get... Something pinged at me. Need to go out late at night to go to the store. It's pitch black, and the street lights are the only source of light. What do you do? Simply won't go. I'm going alone, find a friend, scared, who really needs food anyway. Buff, dark. Think someone else go. Wait. Yeah, it's just a little dark. Also, I don't leave my house unless I'm armed. You're sitting in class, your teacher is being frustrating. How do you handle it? Complain to a friend, confront them in class, complain about it, make sure the teacher hears. Yell at them and walk out more dramatically than necessary. Talk to the teacher about it after class, be passive-aggressive, ignore it, give them the benefit of the doubt. Nope, I'm going to complain. What is your favorite emote? Really? We're doing this game. Also, you guys decide if we're watching Ray go through the whole thing or just seeing what his results are. This, just because it's definitely my most used one. Which country would you move to? Romania, Australia, New Zealand, Norway, Germany, France, USA, Mexico, Chad, Kenya, Mongolia, England, Antarctica. I will move to a different part of the USA. I have multiple deserts to pick one. I will pick one. What color is math? What is with this timing? I was just digging through some of my old textbooks, looking for a machine code book that I have. My math folder was in there, and it's blue. Do you like Andrew Tate? No. Alright. Andrew Tate, if you're in America, you're gonna know who I'm talking about from your school. When you were in like 3rd or 4th grade. Andrew Tate is that 5th grader who discovered alcohol, cigarettes, and swearing early and was obsessed with them and thought they made him cool. And Andrew Tate just never aged out of that. That is who Andrew Tate is. Anyone from the United States for sure went to school with that person. What type of clothing do you wear most often? Hoodies, loose fitting, flowy clothing, very pastel, pretty clothing. Slutty. Okay. So I'll show you whatever I have. I'm a little torn because I do tend to wear loose fitting, but I don't know if flowy is how I would describe it. I just like baggy clothes. Sure. Favorite trope. Oh, here we go. Well, I expect you to do this, Blue Kitty. There was only one bed. Oh. I've watched so much anime. Found family, enemies to lovers, bully to lovers, absolutely not. Miscommunication, absolutely not. I am sick of that. Omegaverse. Oh, I know what that is. Yandere, hurt, comfort, angst, no comfort, fake dating, arranged marriage. I'm gonna go with arranged marriage, because I've watched a lot of anime, and there's too many of those that end up really, really funny and or cute. It's been forever, but I'm trying to remember one in particular, where it's like also with the childhood friend thing. And they're like, but they knew as kids they were in an arranged marriage, but they didn't know it was with each other. So they never admitted it. Then they found out, oh, we're marrying each other, but assumed that their crush of the other person was someone else. And so they got married, because arranged marriage, and then had to struggle with, yay, I'm married to the person I have a crush on, but I think they have a crush on someone else, and that someone else is just them. I cannot remember. I'm pretty sure it was a manga, not an anime. Yeah, it was a manga, not an anime. Now, that's probably not what they mean by arranged marriage. Given what little I know of this, this is probably the much more hostile version of arranged marriage. I'm going to pick it anyways. Please? Which these fanfics would you read based on tags, major character death, angst, hurt, no, comfort, no, hurt, sick, fact, no, graphic depiction of violence, kidnapping, Stockholm syndrome, no, strange lovers, flower shop, AU, no. No, pay no down like men. Okay, maybe just because that's really funny, but no. You're walking through a public space and see someone beating up an innocent person. It's just you three there at the moment. The attacker looks to be more muscular than you. What do? I draw my sidearm. And you know what? I can say that with confidence because I've done this in real life. Did not point. Did not need to point. Did not need to fire. I drew, and that ended it. Quite proud of myself there. Step in, try to make attacker back off. That is exactly what I did. I tried telling off the attacker and run when they come towards me. I join in. Boo. That sounds very Andrew Tate. I stand there indecisively and turn around, step in, and get beat up immediately. I ignore it. Well, I stepped in and did make them back off. I am very proud of that. What do you do if you're sick and have a prior engagement? You'll be thanking me for getting my ew. Call it off. Just a cold, I'll live. Sure, nobody will get sick. No, that's how people get sick. Stay home and reschedule. Someone is yelling at you for something you didn't do. How do you reply? You not reply. Start yelling back. Yeah, I've about had it. I know who would be yelling at me, and I've had it with them. There's like 4 people who I know I would be in this situation with, and I've just given up trying to reason. No, that never works. Yeah, I do just start yelling back. You're on the internet and have somehow managed to get yourself into an argument about something you've come to realize you're clearly wrong about. How do you handle it? Double down anyways? No. Delete your original comments? No. And a Wikipedia page? I know who that's referencing. No. Block them? No. Admit you're wrong and apologize. There's some people here that can confirm I've done that. Okay, what's your opinion on Elon Musk? Yes! Comedy is now legal on Twitter. Community notes is the best thing to happen to that website. It's not even what my opinion on him, it's just what he's done to Twitter. Though I still refuse to call it X. Your friend comes out to you, how to respond. I'm going to go with this. I do not care in a sense of you do you, but I understand it's a big deal for people. What is your favorite genre of television books? Romance, rom-com, sci-fi, action, slice of life, fantasy. Sci-fi and fantasy are the strongest contenders. I think sci-fi wins out by just a little bit. Stranded on an island and could only bring what? Here we go. What is that thing? Lighter, phone, book, musical instrument, gun, Swiss Army knife. Phone probably is not going to actually have internet connection, so assume not. Why would you take a musical instrument or book? Now, so the 3 most people are going to take is lighter, gun, or Swiss Army knife. I have done survival stuff. I'm going to take lighter because fire is going to be the hardest thing to acquire and maintain, and I know because I have made my own tools before. So I can handle Swiss Army knife and defending myself, assuming, I'm stranded, presumably on my own. The lighter is going to make the hardest part of everything the easiest. You stumble upon a dead body laid on up to his taking as much of nature went up to as possible. I would also say that the gun does not say it comes with bullets. You stumble upon a dead body laid out the street of the road. A quick glance around tells you that you're alone. What do? Panic, call the cops to report it. Hide the body myself, leave it there, it's not my problem. Call a friend, call the cops. I will get blamed if I don't. I know I will, that's my luck. What aesthetic up to his take as much nature? Ooh! Oh, you're taking the lighter too and just burning it to the... Figured out right before you sent it. Okay, what aesthetic do you vibe with the most? Cottage core, preppy, monochromatic, minimalist, cyber, yes. Okay. No. Academia. 100% cyberpunk. I am a cyberpunk VTuber. That was literally my desktop background. What do you want from me? What are you most afraid of? Rejection, abandonment, betrayal, loneliness, spiders, clowns, heights, specific person, the law, death, and inevitably. Well, Judge Dredd doesn't bother me any. I'm going to go with betrayal because I have been betrayed before. What time of day do you like the most? Dawn, morning, noon, evening, dusk, twilight, night, and midnight. Twilight. Early morning or late at night. I do like just that. The sun isn't out, but it's just barely bright. You've been invited to a potluck. Congratulations. What do you bring? I am definitely not hosting it. Dessert is probably the answer. No side dishes. Chips only if I can't arrange desserts. I'm going to go with dessert. And I've had this opinion since before I've actually seen the show in the clip. But James Spader's lawyer character, whose name escapes me at the moment from like the practice in Boston Law, has the perfect quote. His uncle brought the pie because he knew if he brought a pie, he'd at least get a slice of it. I've had that opinion since before I've ever heard the quote, bring the dessert because it means you're going to get some. Of course. Been supplied with a whiteboard and whiteboard marker. What's the first thing you draw? Of course. Well, I'm not going to draw anything because I can't draw to save my life. Normally, it's a pie chart that's like, this is the percentage of the pie chart that's empty. This is the percentage of the pie chart that's filled in. Yeah, I know. Screw it. Text your best friend, partner, group chat right now. I'm serious. Ask them if you're cat girl or dog girl. It doesn't matter your gender. I'm 100% serious. This quiz can wait until you get a response. I know what not the specific thing, but in general, I know what has been leaned towards me. I'm curious if chat is going to agree. But I already know what the answer is here. Also, we all know what Blue Kitty is. Blue Kitty, don't try to deny it. We all know what you are. Yep. Well, I don't know if that was for me or for her. I assume that was for her, but I know I'm cat. I have lion ears and tail, for pity's sake. Which of these images resonates with you the most? The heck is that? It's Mike. Well, it is a fanfiction setting. Following and unsubscribing. Tell me, dear, how are you feeling right now? Take pot shots. Snore. When in public reading smut fluff, can you keep your face impassive? Don't read fic in public. This won't affect your answers. I know the answer is yes, but it wasn't intentional. It was, oh no. I need to find something else to read. Site do you use? AO3, Wattpad, fanfiction, template. I'm going to go with this, because that's what I actually use. I don't use any of these other ones. at all. What is your favorite animal? Dog, wolf, cat, bird, cow, fox, rat, monkey, lion, fish, snakes, dinosaurs, sheep, tigers, lion. Loner alpha. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't expecting the alpha. These quizzes never give you something like that. I need to add a shush. Greetings and salutations, dearest test taker. Forgive my incoherency. We started this project last year, and now I'm the only member of Omegaverse Incorporated still working on it. Up to a stoic Omega. How did that happen? Okay. Pardon me. You'd like your results, wouldn't you? Always so impatient, Loner Alpha. You're an Alpha. Of course you are. But you see no reason to have an Omega by your side. I mean, sure, you might want a partner, but you don't particularly need one. And even then, fit your partner may not... I thought that was required. I thought that... Clearly, I don't know a lot about this setting. I thought that it was like, duh, the Alphas claim Omegas. Loner Alphas are often introverts and... Oh, that already hits close to home. Preferring to spend their time in their own little corner. You're more likely to have fandom friends than the real-life friends, but you know your worth despite and keep plugging along. You're an art kid or a science kid, and you got along well enough with your history. I'm not sure I like this. That's a little scary. I am a science kid who likes art and is one term paper away from being a history major. Here at Omegaverse Incorporated, we recommend you stay away from oh yeah. And anything to do with people. I feel like there's a little bit of exception for streaming. We understand that may not be viable in this economy, but perhaps consider marketing, sales, or graphic design. I'd buy a $400 massage chair from you, Loner Alpha. You're most compatible with carrying beta, flirty... I did not know there was betas in the setting. Flirty beta, submissive... I didn't know that was possible either, submissive alpha or soft alpha. But don't let that stop you, Loner Alpha. Okay, that's a result. Why did you even take this if you know nothing of it? Because Ray took it. And it's like, all right, well, Markiplier did the Pokemon Smasher Pass, and that quickly became a thing. I'm gonna bandwagon before it gets away from me. Also, like I said, it's just the beginning of this week just got bombarded with stuff, and it's like, all right, I feel like the universe is telling me something. Is there anything? There we are. Your answers are 22 Loner Alphas, 18 Stoic Omegas, 18 Protective Betas, 14 Independent Omega, 13 Flirty Beta. Not sure what I did. Well, probably the cuddling and the flustering are probably. Where was I? 13 needy. 13. Well, that's probably the Andrew Tate one, so yay at the bottom of my list. Result totals. Holy smokes, a ton of people have taken this. 1.8 million people have taken this quiz. Holy smokes. Most... I just realized what the top result is. Sorry. Don't mean to laugh. Okay. There's a lot of us. A lot of both of us up to. Huh. Can you click on? You can. Alright. Welcome. Good to see you, test taker. So you've been assigned Stoic Omega. What does that mean for you? Tend to suppress their feelings, preferring to pretend... one ban, please. Preferring to pretend they don't need an alpha at all. However, you deep down still want someone to take your problems away from you. Anyway, maybe stop repressing your emotions and get therapy. You would excel in teaching jobs or jobs involving children. You're able to be firm with children, but also loose enough to have fun and relate with them. It would be uncomfortable at first, but with a good mentor, you'd ease right into it. Dominant alpha, caring beta, protective beta, and an aggressive omega. Thank you, up to. Also, pets. Okay. I don't know if Kitty is taking hers now or on stream. Probably on stream. That would be smart for Kitty to do it on stream. But I am curious. I'm also curious about these compatibles. I forgot I had that function. Alright. Caring beta. No. Oh. You are the perfect partner. Don't let that go to your head. Okay. Starting off strong there. The mom friend, but you don't call yourself that and therefore are not annoying. I was almost about to say I know someone like this, but no, they call themselves that. Okay, guys, you often give more than you take. Okay, I could think of different people who are like that, who I know. You do well in school, but not for validation. You're a generally smart person. I definitely went to high school with these people. With multiple of these people. Never dated, but one of them I did have a crush on. If you get a job, you'd be more eligible for jobs in pediatrics and caring for the elderly. Do not go into politics, you will die. Oh, that's interesting, given how all three of them were part of our friend group that were like constantly talking about how to solve the world's problems. Though, admittedly, that was very different than politics because we didn't all hate each other. Turning beta, compatible with every other beta and most other types. You again are the perfect partner. However, aggressive omegas make you sad, so don't date them. Okay, I'm still not sure how betas fit into an alpha omega dynamic, but sure. Flirty beta. I'm learning things, apparently. You are a hopeless romantic. Oh no, I know who this is. You're an extrovert through and through, and you enjoy flirting with people and being dramatic. You may not have control over a situation, but you don't care as long as you get some eye candy out of it. I know exactly who this is. You're the type of person to go to a coffee shop and sulk in the window seat in hopes the cute barista will... Oh my gosh, I know. I can see her face. You like to pretend you're the main character, and you very well could be. Well, you're more of a main character than a submissive omega or a dominant alpha. I clearly don't know how this fandom works. You're confident but insecure about your worth. You fear you may come off as pushy or annoying. Keep that head up, flirty beta. Your crown is falling. Who cares if you're annoying, be cringe, be stupid? Oh my gosh. No. Oh, so many memories are passing through my mind at once. You need money to take people on dates, so you need a job. You would be good fit for customer service. You're charming, witty, enough to get compliments day in and day out. You'd also be good at a hands-on job like engineering or construction. Definitely the first one for who I know. Loner alpha, soft alpha, submissive omega, submissive alpha, and an independent omega. I know who this is. I know exactly who this is in my life. Well, former life. I haven't seen her in forever. Submissive alpha. Wow, they're way down there. Okay. Sure, this news is very surprising to you. What does it mean? You're submissive alpha. Is that a thing? Isn't that just being an omega? That would be my question. Yes, it is a thing, and no, it's not being an omega. Being a submissive alpha gives you a unique perspective on life, one that many don't get. That's very accurate according to the quiz results. Oh no, this is the very accurate quiz, isn't it? Oh no. Alpha through and through, don't worry, but you tend to concede to your partner more often than not. You may be a protector and a defender, but you rely more on words than actions. Uh-oh, I think I know who this is too. You're a lovely companion, whether it be in friendship or in romance. But you tend to be shy when it comes to... Oh, no! I know who this is. I know this person. Just a bit bad at giving or receiving it without blushing like a mess. Oh my gosh. I messed up her hair so many times. And it was cute every time. Be warned that behavior makes it incredibly likely for flirty betas to tease. It's incredibly likely for everyone to tease her. We recommend jobs like postal worker, Home Depot, paint swatcher, flower shop attendant, and management positions. Climb the ladder of success, and we'll surely see you there, Submissive Alpha. You're most compatible with independent Omegas, caring Betas, flirty Betas, and loner Alphas. You enjoy a dominant Alpha, but they'd maybe be a bit too overbearing. So we steer clear until you've got a better head on your shoulders. I am concerned. I am concerned. Okay, soft Alpha. Congratulate you on your rare sex gender. Here are some things you might need to know about this diagnosis. Soft Alpha, you exercise that need for control, instinctive to all Alphas, but you do so in a way that isn't brash or harsh. This makes you a natural leader that's also well liked. You're a people pleaser at heart, and you cry if you think someone doesn't like you. You did all the therapy, and now feel the need to therapy others. Oof. You are an arts kid and are wholeheartedly expected to get submissive Omega in this test. Should you enter the workforce, we recommend going into therapy, law, landscaping, farming, or even politics should that tickle your fancy. Soft Alpha is most compatible with flirty Beta, loner Alpha, caring Beta, independent Omega, and submissive Omega. I don't know that I actually know this person. Anyone in my group that was in this specific category. But the others are like super duper scary for how spot on several people, including former partners from dating, that's scary. That is, I'm not sure how to feel about how accurate that is. Okay, now are we watching the Ray one in full, or are we just checking his... I'm probably not going to react a whole lot since we just saw the whole quiz. So, though, I mean, Ray could react in a way that's pretty darn entertaining. I am shocked I got Alpha. These quizzes, the whole thing with these quizzes is every time a streamer takes one, it pops out the funniest possible answer. That's honestly, besides being terrifyingly spot on, feels pretty complimentary. At least that's my opinion. All right. Well, I think we're just going to skip ahead. To see what Ray got out of this. We can rewind if people want to see the whole thing, but we're starting with this. Because this is the curious part. Also, it looks like some 80,000 people have taken this quiz in 4 days. Probably his fault.
I'm an aggressive Omega. Is that good? Did I win?
Okay.
Why are people saying I knew it? What does that mean? All right. Greetings, test taker. Take a seat. Please, you've been diagnosed with a chronic case of aggressive Omega. It is incurable. But don't get pissed off for anything. Let me explain why you've been assigned this one, as aggressive Omegas are usually in denial and think they're alphas. Because you are quick to anger You're quick to anger and defensive. You may think you are an alpha. I don't even know what the other options are. However, that is not what defines an alpha or an omega.
Really, I don't either.
Control usually determines which second gender you have. Second gender you have. And omegas hate having control of situations. They would prefer to have an alpha take care of them. Oh, shit.
Tina?
Like when Tina takes care of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. But you may have been forced to believe you don't want an alpha. You are vehemently against it. If you take a moment to really think about it, though, you do. And maybe ask for help sometimes. Most people are perfectly willing to help you despite your fear of being vulnerable. Oh, shit. I don't like this anymore.
I think he's having the same realization I did.
Omega, you would be qualified for solo sports like track, golf, and swimming. Please don't go near children. Please enjoy a calming hobby for your rampant anger issues. Oh, I don't like being around children. Part of the reason why I don't like kids, they're loud and gross. I do like golf. Well, I played golf, I should say, with my dad when I was younger. You are compatible with stoic omega, submissive alpha, independent omega, and caring betas. All right, dude. Sick. I won. So, there you go. I'm an aggressive omega, I guess. Sick. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that.
That is a thing. Frey doesn't change his tag from beta male to aggressive omega during the next stream. There will be riots. Yep, that's right. 2010's Tumblr. He was 100% put up to this by one of the VTuber friends. I guarantee it. Tina got alpha as her result. I can see it. Oh my gosh. Tina takes care of Ray. 100%. That quiz is scary. Is Fire Emblem Heroes really still a thing? Yeah, I guess it is. Now, again, we can go back and watch the whole getting to that process. We can pull out a game for a little bit if we want. Otherwise, that may be the end of the stream, though. I want Kitty to tell us what she got first. Let me check something while I wait. Yeah, a bare minimum, we're finishing with Kitty. We may do other stuff, but 100%. Let's see, what do I have available over here? I'm working on it. What do I have here that we could do that wouldn't, if we want to continue? Though, since I have a stream tomorrow, I don't know that I want to go. Don't know that I want to start anything that'll take too long. Or tempt me to go that much longer, just out of fear of wearing myself out before tomorrow's stream. So, you know what? I'm gonna look up an explanation real quick. And I'm not doing it on screen because who knows what may appear when I do this. Okay. Oh, I actually did not know this. That apparently betas are like normal people. I didn't know that the setting had normal people. Okay, so betas are just normal people, and then that's different types of personalities within. Alphas are, yep. They are the dominant and can, I don't know how deep down that rabbit hole I want to go. Up to being labeled a stoic is still just scares. Pats for up to. I didn't know the setting had normal people, so that is news to me. Also, I didn't know that you could pair within the same thing, so that is also news to me. Check on a couple of these. While we wait, this will give us a little bit of noise, as well as just show off the thing a bit more. Oh, there's a convenient spot to put it right there. This is my version of an ad break. I cannot hear the audio on my end. I hope that is balanced the way I think it is. Actually, this would be a good time to ask how that audio is balanced. It'll mostly not be going while I'm talking, but it's a good comparison for if it'll blow your eardrums or not. That's fine. Cool. Yeah, I cannot hear that video playing, but that should give you a little bit more background noise besides just my chattering around. I wonder what jobs they would have recommended for Loner Alpha if it wasn't in this retailer sales. It said science. I mean, I do science things as a job. I have received submissive. Sorry to laugh. Submissive Omega. That's adorable. Well, you are the same as the person that made this. As part of the family, here's some basic things. Oh, well... That does feel mean, but no offense. With what I know of the setting, of course, that term. I feel a little bad reading this out. Well, everyone got theirs read out, so it's only fair. Display prominent Omega traits. You tend to like others, to have control in situations, and want people to take care of you. You like to ignore when bad things happen to you, too scared to speak your mind. Omegaverse experts may call you a stereotypical Omega and one many fanfics feature. However, this does not determine how you act. Some are brash and loud, others are meek and quiet. But when push comes to shove, you desperately want an alpha to take care of you and fix your problems. Short... see? This is what I'm saying about... Like, when we started this, I said that I feel like the Omegas don't always get a good treatment in this setting. Good with kids. Never work with... What? Yeah. What little I knew of this stereotypical... First of all, I thought this was the Omega setting, and apparently it's not. The only one... What little I know of the setting is they get bullied a lot. So I do feel a bit bad now dragging you into this. It's like, it was cute, and then I started reading. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's... On that awkward note, really sorry. I think that is going to be it for the night. Like I said, I don't want to burn myself out and then be like dragging myself into tomorrow's stream. So I will thank you all for bearing with me. I will apologize for the awkwardness, but I did say to leave before we got into this, if you didn't know. So I will catch you all tomorrow. Remember, this is the last stream weekend before I'm gone till October, unfortunately. Be safe. I hope you've all been having a great week, and I will catch you later.